Chapter 1. Mama's Bladed Hands. The first weapon I ever held was my mother's hand. I was a small child then, soft at the belly. On that night, my mother woke me and led me out to the Carolina woods, deep, deep into the murmuring trees, black with the sun's leaving. The bones in her fingers, blades and sheaths, but I did not know this yet. We walked until we came to a small clearing around a lightning burnt tree, far from my sire's rambling cream house that sits beyond the rice fields. Far from my sire, who is as white as my mother is dark. Far from this man who says he owns us. From this man who drives my mother to a black thread in the dim closeness of his kitchen, where she spends most of her waking hours working to feed him and his two paunchy milk sallow children. I was bird-boned, my head brushing my mother's shoulder. On that night long ago, my mother knelt in the fractured tree's roots and dug out two long, thin limbs, one with a tip carved like a spear, the other wavy as a snake, clumsily hewn. "Take this," my mother said, throwing the crooked limb to me. "I whittled it when I was small." I missed it, and the jagged staff clattered on the ground. I picked it up and held it so tight the knobs from her hewing cut. And then my mother brought her own dark limb down. She had never struck me before. Not with her hands, not with wood. Pain burned my shoulder, then lanced through the other. Hey guys, I'm back again, and I'm here to do a review of Letters to Sin by Jesmyn Ward. Now, this is a book that a lot of people were talking about last year. Everybody was really excited about reading Letters to Sin, and the hype was high, and it was real, and everybody was like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, now, for me, my relationship with Jesmyn Ward's writing is very slim because I have only read Sing Unburied Sing. That's the only book that I have read from her. Now, this is my second read from her, and I'm quite anxious to go back and read some of her past works. Now, Letters to Sin is a novel that shows Jesmyn Ward's capacity to flex in writing. You can clearly see here that her writing has grown tremendously since the writing of Sing Unburied Sing. This book has a literary tone, lots of beautiful descriptions, and then she is basically telling you a slave narrative, but she's doing that in a different way. Now, I really enjoyed one particular concept of this book, which is something that I haven't seen. So this novel it's as if you are inside of the main character's head. So the main character is called Annis, and she is the result of the master raping her mother. So Annis is a girl who is fair-skinned, and we can also imagine that she's very beautiful. She's young at the beginning of the book. I'm not sure exactly how old, but she's at an age where she can learn things. So as you could hear from that first passage that I read, that's literally the first page in the book, so no spoilers or anything like that. And we can see that her mother is instructing her. Now, the thing that I mentioned that I like the most is the fact that it's as if though we are in Annis's head throughout the entire book. So we are now getting that story from an enslaved person, but we're getting the real feelings of the enslaved person, not the status quo feelings of the enslaved person. And so for me, that was something that I found extremely interesting, was how real and personal and emotional is the first person close voice of Annis. So we're now getting, how does an enslaved person manage to get up every day and do what they have to do? How is Annis living through what she lives through in the novel? Now, this book is not heavy on the plot. There is a plot, but it's not there's nothing that is, mysterious, or, there are no gotchas or anything like that. But it is a character driven novel, but I'm not mad at it. I really feel like it's an interesting way to look at enslaved narratives and to look into the depth of what it is to be an enslaved person. Now, there is some beautiful writing in here, and that comes from the fact that Jesmyn Ward takes her time to write these beautiful passages that happen in the outdoors, in the nature. Now, there are constant mentioning of bees because Annis takes care of the bees on the plantation. And I feel like bees are a perfect sense of freedom in nature, because a bee can literally, it can go a little bit everywhere, but it does come back to its home. It comes back to its hive, per se. And so that is a constant reminder of us that Annis is not free. So for me, this is what it is a symbol of, is the fact that there is this, you're out, but you're not really out. You are connected to a hive that you cannot just leave like that. So a lot of people, I'm sure, are saying they thought this book was meh. It was, not so good. I thought it was a good book. I rated this book a 3 stars. And I rated it 3 stars because I wanted more. That is, I wanted to know more about what was going to happen to Annis, because we kind of get left on this idea that, and life goes on, which, we know life goes on. But I think I was so into it that I really wanted to know, where was she going to go next? And we don't get that. So who knows? Maybe she will write more about this character at a later date. I'm not really sure. But would I recommend it? Now, I would recommend Let Us Descend to people who love literary fiction, and also to people who like character-driven stories. If you don't like character-driven stories, then I would say leave this one. You're not going to like it. But if you like character-driven stories and you like literary fiction, I think you're going to be all right. You're going to enjoy it. You may give it more than 3 stars. I'm just really specific about what I'm looking for. And I always feel like with her writing is I get to the cliff and it's almost like I'm leaning over. I could jump. I'm waiting to jump and it doesn't happen. And there's something that I feel that is being held back in the 2 books that I've read from Jesmyn Ward. But that being said, I still like the book. I think it's a good book. Is it a great book? I wouldn't say it was a great book, but I would say it's a good book. So that's all I have for you today. Comment below and let me know what you think about Let Us Descend. Are you a big Jesmyn Ward fan? Is she an auto-buy author for you? Let's talk about it. And I will talk to you very soon in another video. Bye.